Hello and welcome. I hope you're having a beautiful day. For this video, I wanted to share with you the craft and game ideas I tried with my children. I put timestamps in the description, so feel free to skip around. For the first project, you'll need poster board paper or scrap paper, and you'll need some colorful tissue paper. My 4 and 5-year-old had fun with this, so hopefully your children do too. For the beginning of this project, what I did was I freehand drew a good sized painter's palette. I just looked online to really get a good gist of what a painter's palette looked like, and then I just freehanded it and I made it. You're going to want to make it big but not too big, and you're going to draw circles along the sides and then just cut it out. For the circles, you want to make them a good size, because just big enough to be able to shine a light through. So like a small flashlight, or even the phone flashlight works too. But yeah, you want to make those circles a fairly good size. So once you cut all that out, you can pick your colors, what color tissue paper you want to use for your palette. I chose different colors, different color for each circle, and I recommend going for dark colors because they show a lot more. Next is the handy dandy glue stick, and all you're going to do is glue stick the tissue paper on, and you just choose which color is going to go where. Now grab a small light source. It could be a small flashlight or the flashlight setting on your phone, and you're going to take it to a dark room and you're going to shine the light on each palette or each paint source or each tissue paper, whatever you want to call this, and just watch how the room changes color. And you can let your little one decorate their own palette. Next up is a Pinterest-inspired game. The original person thought of it as an indoor tennis game, but because my little ones don't understand tennis, I turned it into a don't drop the balloon game. You just take 2 fly swatters and a balloon, and you just use the fly swatter to keep the balloon up. And this was a really fun game for them. The traveling sandbox. It's just that, it's a traveling sandbox. It's really simple. Grab a medium-sized container with a lid. This one is from the Dollar Tree, and you add some sand to it. I like to use Connect Sand with my kids. You can find it on Amazon, Target, Walmart, and they come in different colors. They're non-toxic, but they do pose as a choking hazard, so they recommend 3 and older. Now for the sandbox, add some toys. We added dinosaurs and some cars, and this is great to take on a road trip because you have the lid to close it. Cutting to my aquarium. For this one, you'll need a scrap paper, 1 foam plate or paper plate. You'll need 2 round magnets. This project is really more for the little older kids because it does pose as a choking hazard. So this project is inspired by that magnet trick that you might remember when you were younger, where you move a paper clip on a plate by using a magnet behind it. Well, I thought it would be a cute idea to turn the plate into a fishbowl and the paper clip into a fish. Step 1, take the scrap paper and let your little one make their fish. You can make it for them or they can make it themselves. I made this one for my sons, and then cut it out and have them decorate it. They can paint it or color it. I just colored this one. Next, take the plate and let them decorate their fishbowl. They can color it or paint it. I painted this one. Note that the paper clip does not work for this because of the weight of the fish, so I had to glue 1 magnet to the back of the fish. I glued a magnet to a cotton ball, and so the cotton ball can act as a grip. And then you're done, and this is how mine turned out. And I made a second one for my other son, and they both got a kick out of this. So some advice. At the time I only had foam plates, but I found out later that paper plates really do work better for this project. So even though foam plate works, a paper plate would work better. For this craft, you'll need one sign from the Dollar Tree. I grabbed these Let the Sea Set You Free signs. I have two because I'll be making one for each of my boys. So I grabbed these two fabrics from the Dollar Tree and I really love the pattern on them, but you can use any fabric for yours. You'll need chalkboard paint. This one is also from the Dollar Tree and it was enough to cover both signs. Now you don't need to do anything to the front of the sign. You're going to flip it on the back, take the sticker off. There was still some sticker left over, but I sanded it down and it didn't matter. After you're done sanding, use the chalkboard paint to completely cover the back. Once it's all dry, you're going to flip the sign back around and measure the fabric to the sign. It's good to have extra fabric, so you don't want it the exact same size as the sign. You want extra room because you're going to be gluing and stuffing this. But before I do all that, I'm going to measure and glue some fabric to the sides just so this has a little bit more extra cushion. Now I'm going to hot glue, and what I like to do first is fold the fabric and then place it on the hot glue. Leave one side unglued because this is where you're going to add your stuffing, and you want to cut any extra fabric off. Now you're going to add in the stuffing, and I don't use too much because I don't want to make it too full, and I even it all out, and then I hot glue it shut. And this is how the second one turned out. These came out really cute. The kids seem to really like them, and I think it would be useful for long car trips. I'm very proud of this dollhouse. My daughter made it and I think she did a great job. She took a cardboard box from Target, cut one side of it, and used the extra cardboard pieces to make the dividing wall, the stairs, the second and third floor. She used cardboard and wood pieces to make the furniture, and she also used clay molds to make all the utensils and food. That orange juice she found on the floor at the park, and that little tree is one of the holiday little trees from Dollar Tree. They come in a little pack, and then she just did such a cute job with this, and the fairy lights are a beautiful extra touch. And this is how it looks at night, and it's so cute. I think it looks like an actual little house, and it's really cute what she did. Felt food is fun to make, and it's affordable. It's an affordable way to make kitchen play food. For this craft, I'll be making cheeseburgers and pizza. I really couldn't make too much because I need to invest in new scissors. Before making the hamburgers, I used scrap paper to trace how big I want these burgers to be, and this is going to act as my measuring tool for all the pieces. The first part of the hamburger I started out with was the tomato. I used red felt and I used my measuring guide to help me trace it out. And I do need to invest in better scissors because my cuts weren't so great. I tried to my best to cut shapes in the center to make it look more like a tomato, but yeah, I need better scissors. I also used a Sharpie and traced around those cutouts just to try and make it look more like a tomato. I used green felt for the lettuce, and this is just something that I freehanded. Basically, I just drew a very bushy tree with a short stump, and I used a Sharpie to make the details. Now for the cheese. I used yellow felt and I did use my measuring tool to help guide how big I want the square pieces. Then I just cut them out and I cut holes into them and then I traced it with a Sharpie. For the hamburger patties, I traced and cut out 2 pieces because I'm going to glue them together and put stuffing in them. I used this beige color, I think it's beige or light brown color felt for the buns, and I just did the same steps as I did with the patties. I used white felt to make the sesame seeds, and I just glued those to the top of the bun. And that's it for the cheeseburger. I did end up making 2 of these. The last food I made was pizza. I used red for the sauce, black for the olives, beige for the dough, yellow for the cheese, and I went with orange for the pepperoni. I did the same steps as with the burger by using a measuring guide. I didn't use any glue for this one, and if I had better scissors, this would have came out better, but at least, you know, it looks like pizza, and that's all I could ask for. So I didn't use any glue because I figured the kids would have funner putting this together any way they wanted. And that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have fun making stuff with your kids and have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stick around by subscribing. Thank you again. Bye-bye.